The question we chose to explore is how has the use of hip-hop's different cultural aspects in advertising impacted the lives of Black people over time? This is a magazine cover featuring a little baby. At the bottom of the ad is a quote from him saying, "I feel like this is already written." This quote relates to how society treats Black communities. Little Baby raps about his struggles growing up in poverty in a Black community. This impacts the Black community because most Blacks are born into poverty and many die in poverty. Society has Blacks written to stay in the poverty class and not be successful due to not giving Black communities the tools to better themselves. This ad is a violent representation of the struggles rappers and ordinary people in Black communities go through. It shows a gun to his neck as a symbol of Blacks killing each other due to gangs and whites killing Blacks due to stereotypes. It then has written in big letters, "The game. Suicide is not an option," meaning that the Black community must keep fighting for equality in a society that wants to see them kill each other and fail. This impacts the Black community because it motivates them to better themselves, to defy the statistics, and fight for a change. This magazine ad features the rapper Lil Wayne with the quote, "I'm more afraid of life than death." This quote represents the fear that all Blacks feel when they step outside into a white man's world. This impacts the Black community because Lil Wayne is bringing the fear of stereotypes of Blacks being dangerous and misunderstood to the public, including communities outside of the Black community. This magazine ad features Queen Latifah. It shows her as a strong, independent Black woman. It portrays this picture by showing her dressed in an outfit that represents the Black culture and having the words, "Sister with attitude." These words show that she is willing to work for what she deserves no matter how hard people try to oppress her. It also shows the feminist movement within the hip-hop and Black communities. This magazine ad features Missy Elliott, who is also one of the first females within a male-predominant career field of hip-hop. It also portrays her as a strong and beautiful Black woman. This ad impacts the Black community because it represents feminism within hip-hop and the community. It motivates younger girls to be strong, independent, and beautiful, to know their worth and go after all their dreams and goals.
The influence that hip-hop music has had on the Black community is very significant because it has shaped the way that we lived, spoke, and dressed in the past and the way we interact as a culture now. On this magazine cover, there is young rapper Foxy Brown next to Nas and another man. As you can see, she is dressed in more skimpy attire and surrounded by men that approve and like her style, especially for around that time for women in hip-hop in the 90s. Next, we have the rapper Da Brat posing for XXL magazine, very popular magazine that focuses on introducing and shining a light on the fresh faces in hip-hop. As you can see, similar to the Foxy Brown cover, the idea for the shoot was obviously to portray sex appeal, even while keeping a tomboy aesthetic. So no matter what kind of artist you were, sexualization was the rite of passage in a way. The next magazine we have is the magazine with Melissa Ford. She's a famous video vixen. She's been seen in videos with Usher, Cisco, Alicia Keys, Jay-Z. And, hip-hop music isn't the only contributor to the influence of cultural aspects in the Black community. Video vixens are also to blame for that. Video vixens were at an all-time high in the 90s and early 2000s. And on this cover is, a famous video vixen. She's known for her cameos and her curvy physique, which is known as to be the ideal Black woman body type. And the last magazine is a magazine cover of Trina on XXL. And just like the Da Brat XXL cover, it's preferably more sexy and raunchy. And the inspiration for these kind of magazine covers overall stem from the need to sexualize women rather than letting them have creative control and opinion on how they would like to be viewed. And I feel like it also stems from the fact that male rappers create a sort of standard for black women in their music, and we kind of subconsciously abide by it as a community.
This is a poster designed behind the well-known Missy Elliott. This poster can relate to how, as black women or as a culture altogether, we were always told what to do and what not to do with our hair. Missy Elliott has always been an icon and one known to express herself through her lyrics, style, and hair. Posters as such can influence and impact the black community to be creative with our hair and do what we want with it. On top of that, breaking down barriers and embracing our unique hair. This is a poster designed for one of J. Cole's more recent projects, KOD, which is actually short for three things: Kids on Drugs, King Overdose, and Kill Our Demons. A great portion of this album was an exploration of addiction, and there was a hint of an anti-drug PSA, as some might call it. Drug use is a big issue within black communities, and its meaning behind it is often lost within the ridicule and the pointing of fingers. Posters as such, as well as albums as strong artists like J. Cole, can help shine the light on a topic that should truly be addressed, as it can reach people who thought no one would be able to understand. This poster was designed by Lil Uzi Vert, well-known hip-hop and rap artist. Within this poster, you'll notice how he tries to emphasize how people are often idolized within the black community. And these people are mainly quote-unquote rock stars or basketball players or just people with money in general. However, at the same time, there's a lot of envy behind those who are deemed to be famous. Many people don't realize the topic he was trying to touch on through this cover, which goes to show how much it affects the community and how it needs to be talked about more. This poster was designed using inspiration from Tyler the Creator and his Flower Boy album. He struggled with identity growing up, not wanting to come out as bisexual, but by releasing Flower Boy, he was able to relieve that side of himself. This alone affects our community, because within the black community, it is often frowned upon to be a part of the LGBTQ community, and homophobia runs rampant within our culture still to this day, in our music and in our own beliefs. Therefore, having an idol as such come out was a major call for change. This is a poster following Drake's album Views from 2016. In Views, he expresses a more emotional side of himself and talks about his depression and the lack of love in his life and how that can affect his career or even the process of music making, as well as his day-to-day life. This can impact the black community because he spoke to the younger generation by saying it's okay for young people to feel lost and as confused as they do. Mental health is seen as a quote-unquote touchy topic today because it isn't talked about enough, and this is a big area that needs more attention than it may be receiving.
This is a TV commercial featuring Kendrick Lamar. When Kendrick Lamar received 11 nominations at the 2016 Grammy Awards show, he received a promo for the annual show. The commercial goes through the streets of Compton, Kendrick's neighborhood, while the residents recite the rapper's Grammy-nominated track, Alright. This commercial gave insight on how dangerous the city is and how the odds for someone like Kendrick to achieve such of an award is very low. This commercial alone inspired many of Compton's youth and motivated the African American race to continue to break down barriers and strive for excellence. The next TV commercial that I chose was a Nike ad that they released for these upcoming shoes. This commercial used Ice Cube's It Was a Good Day hit record to advertise the release of Nike Pete Rod and SB Dunks. The commercial shows a young skater cruising around a Los Angeles neighborhood. This ad was very impactful to the black community in numerous ways. For Ice Cube's song to be used in a Nike commercial alone inspired many young black artists to continue to make music and chase their dream. But the Nike ad also created a new wave of black skateboarders with the release of the shoes that Nike were advertising, the SBs, which stands for skateboarding. The last TV commercial that I used was the Sprite ad with Kid and Play and Heavy D. The commercial showed Kid and Play and Heavy D dancing and singing with the product, pushing Sprite's I Like the Sprite and You campaign. This ad was very important during the time of its release to the black community as a whole. The ad showed the diverse cultural aspects of hip-hop regarding their appearance. The commercial also showed the public how Kid and Play wore their clothes, their shoes, and even the way they had their haircut. This caused a lot of the black youth to copy their style. Personally, I've had the haircuts almost all of the haircuts that were showed in the commercial, and I was born 9 years after the release of the commercial.
This advertisement from 1996 features two young rappers, Lil Neek and DJ Just. They are promoting a new item on McDonald's menu, the Arch Deluxe. The takeaway from the advertisement is that the Arch Deluxe makes you feel grown. Having two young black children put on a performance including DJing and rapping would be humorous yet appealing to the people in the black community. This could have both positive and negative influences on our community. Some people may have appreciated that incorporating hip-hop into the advertisement represented that entertainment is becoming more inclusive, while others may feel that this advertisement is falsely depicting what black children in hip-hop are really like. In this Mountain Dew advertisement from 1984, there are multiple people breakdancing in a park while drinking Mountain Dew. There are only a few black people in the video, and majority of the people dancing or hyping up the dancers are white. The takeaway from this advertisement is that Mountain Dew is perfect for when you're having a good time with friends. Same as the previous advertisement, this may have had both negative and positive impacts on the black community. The advertisement represents diversity and inclusion, and the portrayal of black culture in the media is needed. However, this may also feel like cultural appropriation to our people.
The end. Here's our credits.